So, gsharp,
Yes.
do you have any convictions about physically liking a post or a reel of women who dress explicitly?
Of course. For me, now I'm gonna talk from a man's perspective. For me, of course, our eyes like it. As a man, we're attracted to beauty. We're attracted to women. You're normal men are attracted to to women. So
If you a man, you like it.
So I think that for me, I have convictions because, being a Christian, first and then being a married Christian, is the next level. So I don't want to do anything that's going to be disrespectful to God, and I definitely don't want to do anything that's disrespectful to my spouse. And, from my past, being delivered from certain things that my eyes used to watch when I was younger. And, I don't ever want to get back to that place to where I can't get back out of it. So of course, if I see something that's like that on social media and, you can look through my feeds, because you can see everybody's feeds, you ain't gonna find me looking at, women that's half dressed or that don't have no clothes on, that's just not my thing because I'm not trying to go back down a dark alley like I was, in my high school or college days. So I do my best not to get lustful thoughts or seeing certain things. So I'm quickly scrolling.
Yeah.
We are the Millennial family. What's millennial?
What's up, family? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of The Millennial Family. We're your host. I'm gsharp, and this is my wife.
SheSharp.
And of course, our goal is to shine light on a generation with a bad rap.
Yes. Hope you all are doing well out there. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes.
And so today we are wrapping up a 2-part series on social media boundaries. And so in this episode, part 2, we'll be answering the question, is social media toxic? So let's get into it.
All right. So let's do a question icebreaker right fast. All right. SheSharp. Have you ever struggled with posting and reposting certain things on social media?
Most definitely, especially as a woman of God. I've definitely struggled with posts that were about the way that I look, like the things I have on, my appearance. If I felt like, oh, that was too much of a curve or, I have too many posts that are just focused on me, I'll get, I'll feel convicted and take it down or feel convicted before I even post.
Yeah.
And so there have been times where I've made posts and I've gone back, to look through my my profile and I'll make the decision to either archive something or delete it.
Wow.
So gsharp,
Yes.
do you have any convictions about physically liking a post or a reel of women who dress explicitly?
Of course. For me, now I'm gonna talk from a man's perspective. For me, of course, our eyes like it. As a man, we're attracted to beauty. We're attracted to women. You're normal men are attracted to to women. So
If you a man, you like it.
So I think that for me, I have convictions because, being a Christian, first and then being a married Christian, is the next level. So I don't want to do anything that's going to be disrespectful to God, and I definitely don't want to do anything that's disrespectful to my spouse. And, from my past, being delivered from certain things that my eyes used to watch when I was younger. And, I don't ever want to get back to that place to where I can't get back out of it. So of course, if I see something that's like that on social media and, you can look through my feeds, because you can see everybody's feeds, you ain't gonna find me looking at, women that's half dressed or that don't have no clothes on, That's just not my thing, because I'm not trying to go back down a dark alley like I was, in my high school or college days. So I do my best not to get lustful thoughts or see certain things, so I'm quickly scrolling. So my thing is, mostly what I look at all the time is food. That's the thing. I love cooking, so I'm always looking for the next best thing to cook, or something that gives me an idea or a motivation to cook, And anytime I do have certain thoughts, like I get to my music, I do that, or I might start reading the scripture, or I just pray in that moment, Lord, help me, help me fight my flesh, because it ain't easy. And that's the thing, with men, how our flesh rise up easily, when it comes to the way that we feel. So, and that is a plus, being married, the blessing of marriage, being able to release, that tension that, we may have at times, what I'm saying? So, but of course I do have convictions when it comes to liking and, reposting certain things like that. You're just not going to see me do it. Now that doesn't mean that it doesn't cross my feed, and so like whenever that stuff happens, I do my best to make sure that I look past it, if I see it in that moment. So
right, that's so good, and I really love that.
I just want to say this ain't fake either. I'm not just saying it because she's here.
Just gonna say.
Like this is genuinely how I am, because I know, and she'll tell you like I do a lot of stuff that I do because I don't want no curse on my children. I don't want nothing to happen to my children. They get exposed to certain things or be sexually assaulted or anything. Any of this stuff can happen. I do this because I love my wife and I love my children. So that's why I do it.
Yes, and I love that. I haven't ever had to worry or be concerned about you liking or saving some explicit, I was going to say some booty pic.
Nah.
No, like seriously, there are Christian wives that worry about that. Yeah. And, I don't take that lightly. Like, I'm so thankful that that's just not my portion.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just different. And she'll tell you I'm stingy with money. Mm-hmm. Not stingy, so frugal. Yeah, frugal. So, and she's asked me this question before, but have I ever been to a strip club or something like that? Mm-hmm. And I've never been, because I don't like wasting money. That's not my thing. I'm not about to pay for something, that is not mine. So I don't get down like that. So
That's so good. And I also think having men in your life, older men.
Oh yeah.
Including our pastor, including your father, and mentors, like brothers. Yeah, your brother. I just think that all has played a part.
Yeah. I don't have friends that put me in those situations, and the people that I keep around me, they don't do that either. Like I really want to do this for the Lord, and I really want to make sure that everything that I do is genuine when it comes to, living this life, because I do want to be an encouragement to other men, and not no fake men, but real men, how real men need to stand up, so.
G-Sharp is like, he prides himself on authenticity. Like, one thing about him, he doesn't like anything fake. Nah. And, so he really lives by that.
Yeah. And that's not to say that I don't get tempted, and I don't get it twisted. Temptation is going to come, but you have to fight for what you want. And that's just one thing that I want to fight for. Like, I want to fight for my marriage, and I want to fight for my kids. I don't want to have to deal with the issues of wanting another woman and being with my wife and thinking about another person. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that, because man, I can't even imagine like the feelings, that can come with that. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to do that. And like I said, I don't ever want to lose my family. I'm not trying to divorce. I'm not trying to lose my kids. And all that can kind of come with that.
And his favor.
Yes.
favor and legacy. Those are very important. And, you know, ladies listening out there, I just want to encourage you with this. Like, you know, you're a beautiful woman, I'm sure, but you're not the only beautiful woman in this world, you know, and if your man is telling you that, you know, he's never been tempted, then maybe he's not as comfortable with being vulnerable with you, you know? And so I encourage you to make a safe space for him to be vulnerable with you, because I mean, like SheSharp said, it's what the Bible says. Temptation will come, but that does not mean that you have to give into it. Yeah. And so as gsharp's wife, I pray for him on a regular basis that he will have eyes for me. Yeah. And he also prays the same prayer. And I pray that I will only have eyes for him, you know, and, you know, because the truth of the matter is Satan is out there. Yeah. And, you know, he'll use things like social media to tempt and lure us in. Yeah.
Can we talk about certain things in the beginning of our marriage?
Go ahead.
All right. So, and this is, you know, dealing with temptation and stuff like that. So I know we used to get into it back in the day. We used to get into it back in the day because, like, let's just say I do see a fine girl or, you know, a pretty woman, like so for me, you know, what I would do is I would look up or I would look away, and she used to hate that. Ooh. You know, like anytime if I know it's a bad chick right there, I'm like, and we walking by.
No, let's do it. You do it. You look up. Let me tell you how he used to look and how I used to look.
And I'm like, oh. I was like, and we keep on walking. And she gone. Okay, cool. I can go back down.
And I'm like, why can't you just act normal?
Look, I'm over there fighting my flesh.
I used to get so upset. I'm like, why can't you just be normal?
Right.
Like, oh my gosh.
Can't control yourself.
I'm like, have self-control.
That's what she kept saying. I'm like, look, I'm trying to have self-control right now by fighting these eyes.
Like, look, yeah, this is my strategy for self-control.
Right.
I used to get like my daddy would say, fire hot. In Miami, fire hot. Ooh, red hot.
But that's how, at that particular moment, that's how I had to fight, you know, just because, again, as men, you know, we like to look and, you know.
And it's natural.
And it's natural, you know, but the thing is, you don't want to be disrespectful to your spouse, you know, and even if you're not married, you know, you don't want to be disrespectful to that particular woman that you're looking at. You don't want to look like a creep just staring at her.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's just the way that I fought my battle during those particular times. And I'm way better at it now than I was back in the day.
And so again, like, just because our men get tempted, it does not mean that they don't love us, that they don't want us, that they don't value us. Yeah. You know, it's just a part of this life.
And on the other hand, it definitely doesn't give you a green light to cheat on your spouse or disrespect your spouse just because you might be weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, brother, you got to fight. Get some brothers that's around you that's going to help build you up, that's going to help steer you in the right direction, you know, or that's going to be accountable. We kind of accountability partners. You know, somebody that's going to hold you accountable. Hey, bro, how you doing? Oh, I did this. You got to watch it, bro. You know, so.
Yeah, and going back to what you just said to single brothers out there, from a woman's perspective, it is so unattractive when you may be on a date with a man of God and a bad woman walks by and he's breaking his neck for her. That's something that gsharp hasn't ever done per se. Yeah. But I've seen other guys do that and I'm like, ew, like,
I'm breaking my neck looking up.
Yes.
I know myself, so that's the thing, man. The Bible tells us not to trust in our own flesh. So you have to know, man, to beat this flesh, you got to be smarter, you know, so
you
work harder.
You better use the word to get you out of that pit. But the Bible also mentions to men that if you look upon a woman in lust that you have already committed adultery. Yep. And so that's just how serious the Lord takes it. And he says it to only men because he knows his creation.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to learn ourselves. God already knows our weaknesses, and he's already given us the word that helps strengthen us, and so we just have to continue to use it every day. If he tells you that, the things that break you down is lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, then you have to, in the pride of life, you have to, fight those three things, lust of the eyes and lust of the flesh. And that's for us, especially as men. Like it goes for every sex that we have, male and female, but as males, we tend to be that lust of the eyes. We see it, and then that lust of the flesh comes upon us. We want it, and then depending on how the level of that pride of life come in there, I can get what I want and not get in trouble or, not lose my family. And then you done lost everything.
Right.
So.
Because sin is only good for a season, and it leads to death. It
does.
And for women, the lust of the eye may look like a Louis bag that ain't in our budget, And so I really think that's why the Lord really emphasized to men. We have to remember that, God created Eve from Adam's rib. He created one woman for one man, but of course we know about the fall and the things that followed. And so therefore now, we're basically in competition, and that's the enemy's plan. That's right. Not God's plan. Keenan Clark said, so many people talk about how social media is toxic. Your feed is a reflection of you. If your social media feed is toxic, you may want to look within because this is apparently what you want to watch.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Ooh.
And, we know this to be true because like gsharp said, his majority of his feed is, food. Yeah. Of course, at times, social media is going to sneak in those tempting posts, to try to lure people in, and then for me, my feed is typically encouragement. I don't really have like the funny things going on my feed. I have a lot of like preaching and encouragement because those are the things that I physically like.
Yeah.
And so that's what I will share with you. If you want to curate your feed, intentionally, physically like the things that you want to see more of. Even if you like something like if you enjoyed watching a reel, but it's something that you don't want to see as often because it might make you feel a way that you shouldn't, then don't physically hit the heart. Don't physically double tap. Yeah. You can also use the feature where you can click something. I think it's the 3 dots at the bottom and click not interested. So those are some of the features that I use as well as mute.
Okay. See, I haven't been on that long, so I'm gonna have to go look at that stuff.
Yeah, I have to update all his stuff. No, let me tell y'all right fast. So on Facebook for my Gen Xers out there, where it has the banner and the profile pic. For years, gsharp would not want to put a banner because he's basically like, I'm true to this, like I'm true to the original Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to move with the times.
True that.
And so finally, he's on board.
I'm on board.
Authenticity to the core.
Yes. There we go. All right, now it's time for our final thoughts. And the first one is basically practice gratitude, be grateful for where you are. We say that gratitude breeds contentment, and we're saying this because a lot of times, we're talking on the other episodes like about posting certain things. Be grateful for what you are because everything that you see on social media, remember, it's not 100% true.
Right.
You do have people that only post the positive things or they post fake things all the time. And sometimes you're down and out and you feel like everybody around you is doing way better than you when that might not be the case. We've known people that, posting, happy things and joyful things and going through divorces, being fake about their situation rather than just stand off of social media until everything is over with. And then when you heal from that moment, get on and post what you need to post. But, always be authentic and just be grateful for where you are in life. And if you know that you need to be better at something, then go be around people that are they going to build you up and help you to become better than what and where you are today.
For sure. And that touches on my final thought, which is to set realistic expectations.
Yes.
So understand that social media often portrays a skewed version of reality. Set realistic expectations and remind yourself that what you see online is just a snapshot of someone else's life, is not the full story.
Come on now.
On point.
Come on. All right. We're going to give you some uplifting scriptures also. And this first one comes from Ephesians 5, verses 1 and 2. It says, imitate God, therefore, in everything you do, because you are his dear children. Live a life filled with love, following the examples of Christ. He loved us and offered himself as a sacrifice for us, a pleasing aroma to God.
Amen. 2 Corinthians 10 and 12 part B in the New King James Version says, but they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise.
That is good. Comparing yourself to somebody else is not wise.
And it's not wise because you don't know what that person did to get who they're with, to get what they have, and you don't know what they're doing to keep it. And chances are, if you knew, you wouldn't want to buy into it.
Right. Because you don't know what they went through, and you don't know what they're going through.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we want to thank y'all for listening to our podcast.
Yes. And we invite you to subscribe to our channel and comment below your thoughts on this episode.
Yes. And we just want to say peace.